Linda Barcz from the Barcz Company is taking your calls at 608-270-9933. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mark.
Boy, this sure brightens up the studio.
I know. I couldn't help it. There were so many pretty things. Pansies, of course, are the ones that are going to be the most cold tolerant. You can.
Well, these are sort of Ukrainian here.
It is. You've got a very good observation. Yeah. And I noticed that they actually had Easter cactus. So this, everybody always asks about these plants, and the Easter cactus doesn't have those little spines on the side that the Thanksgiving or Christmas cactus have. So they have a really nice selection. If you want one of these, come in, because you don't always get them in.
And those tulips, I mean, when they're done? Or can you put the bulbs in the ground?
Well, since this particular tulip is growing in soil, they might be able to rebuild. You're going to leave the leaves on and have that regenerate something in the bulb, but they don't perform real well. But the ones in water, they don't. They're totally wasted.
All right. All right, let's go to the phones. We'll start with Nancy in DeForest. Hi, Nancy. What's your question?
Hi, I'm calling to find out what to do with geraniums that I took out of the dirt last fall, and I've been soaking them once a month throughout the winter in my basement. Okay. When I put them in dirt this spring, should I cut the plants all the way down?
Cut them back quite short. Well, it depends upon how those plants look. If you've got some nice tissue, cut it back to anything that's shriveled and dried up, cut that off.
Okay.
But cut it smaller, because hopefully some buds will start towards the base of the plant and keep it nice and stocky.
These little something green near the base.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's go to Sandy in Milton. Hi, Sandy. What's your question?
Hi. I love ranunculus, and I was wondering if I can grow them in this area.
Ranunculus. I know that I believe that you can. You would start with bulbs and then have them grow in the garden. If you have an eastern exposure, that's probably going to be the most desirable. I'm concerned about if you have it on the west, sometimes that in the spring it gets warmed up too fast, and then that cold hot combination
start with
is
the
not
bulb.
so good. Yes, start with the bulb.
Okay. Let's go to let's see, Sally in New Glarus. Hi, Sally. What's your question?
Hi. Should peonies be split now, this time of year, or whenever should they be split?
It would be better if you had done it in the fall, because usually what starts to happen, the soil is so cold and wet yet in the spring, you're going to have to get out there before they shoot up and grow. That's the trick, because if the soil's really wet, you don't want to be working in it, but as soon as it gets warm, those peonies start to grow, and if they put on too much growth, they flop apart.
All right, so if you don't catch them early, then do it in the fall.
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's go to Beverly in Cambridge. Hi, Beverly. What's your question? Beverly, you have
Oh, yes.
Go
yes.
ahead.
And my question is about my orchids. I bought an orchid, a yellow orchid, and it lasted for a little while, and I don't know if I overwatered it or underwatered it, but the petals started to get faint, and then they fell off, and now the top of the stem is even yellow. I'm just wondering what I did wrong.
Well, if the leaves are still green, don't worry about the fact that the flower is past. The trick is to not overwater those. So
okay.
You let it get nice and dry between waterings, and then give it a thorough water, and put it someplace where it gets good sunlight at this time of the year.
Okay, but I should hang on to it.
Yes, if the leaves are healthy, then there's a good chance that it'll survive. The flower stalk being gone does not mean that the plant is gone.
Okay, and one other question, the top of it.
The stem, if it's brown or yellow, then you can cut that off. If the stem is still green, if this little stem is still green, then leave that on.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
The flower stem.
Yes.
All right. Can you put anything outside right now, or is that way too early?
I think I would wait, because we're still getting quite cold at night.
It was 16 degrees.
Yes. All these pansies were in our greenhouse today.
And I saw the neighbor putting some fertilizer or something on on the lawn.
You could be putting fertilizer on your grass. You could be putting a pre-emergent, but it's a bit early. Maybe they missed their fall fertilization. They were thinking that they could do it early, but because pre-emergent, it's a little bit early to be putting that down.
And a lot of tire tracks all over the lawn. It's a little wet outside yet.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get there eventually.
Absolutely.
One day at a time. Linda, thank you.